I've always said that I wanted to be remembered as a player that didn't waste a moment, didn't waste a day.
Same motion.
And
Go.
I felt extremely blessed by the God-given talent. But at the same time, I didn't take it for granted at all. The most important thing for me is to leave no stone unturned, get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time, I'd have something that was beautiful. But that was my philosophy. It seems like a pretty simple one, but if you live your life to just get better every single day and do that for 20 years, what do you have? My kids at 2 could do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? At 2, I could dribble a basketball, I could shoot a basketball on the Nerf hoop at the house, and I would go to practice with my father. I would observe my father. I'd sit and watch games with him.
Was he your first coach?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. A lot of things I learned by being around the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so by the age of 6, I was already strategizing versus other 6-year-olds.
My brain cannot process failure. It will not process failure. Because if I sit there and have to face myself and tell myself, you're a failure, I think that's almost worse than death.
At 13 years old, I played the longer game because my game wasn't about being better than you at 13. It was to be better than you when the chips are really on the line. So when you played at 13, I would size you up and see what your strengths and weaknesses are. How do you approach the game? Are you silly about it? Are you goofy about it? Are you good at it just because you're bigger and stronger than everybody else? Right? Or is there actually thought and skill that you put into it? Right? And when I'd play to my weaknesses. I wouldn't play to my strengths. I played to my weaknesses. Because when you're playing summer basketball, there's so many games. So there's not a lot of skill work being done. So when are you going to get better? Right? When you're playing in competition situations, you're only playing to your strengths. Why? Because you want to win. Right? So what I would do, I always work on the things during those games that I was weak at. Left hand, pull-up jump shot, post game. Right? So I have a strategy. And so then fast forward to when I'm 17, my game is completely well-rounded, and that player at 13 that I saw at 13 is still doing the same shit at 17, now you got a problem.
What was really your work ethic like, and for how long did you stay disciplined?
Well, every day. Since 20 years. It was an everyday process, and trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses. For example, jumping ability. Now, my vertical was a 40, wasn't a 46 or 45. My hands are big, but they're not massive. Right? So you got to figure out ways to strengthen them, so your hands are strong enough to be able to palm a ball and do the things that you need to do. Quickness, I was quick, but not insanely quick. I was fast, but not ridiculously fast, right? So I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more. And but I enjoyed it though. So like from the time I can remember when I started watching the game, I studied the game, and it just never changed.
We were playing against the Lakers, Tom, and we were out here in LA. Look, I always try to outwork people, right? That's just how I made my mark. So the game was at 7. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come to the Staples Center because we're playing. This is when the Lakers had Kobe and Shaq. Okay, this is like the championship Lakers. So I'm gonna get there at 3 o'clock. And I want to make sure I make 400 made shots before I go back into the room, and then I sit in the sauna and I get ready for the game. So, get in the car, get to the gym. Get there, and as I'm walking onto the court, who do I see? I see Kobe Bryant, already working out. So once I set my foot across that line, I started working out. And so I worked out for a good hour and a half. And when I came off, after I was done, I sat down, and of course I still heard the ball bouncing. I look down, I'm like, this guy's still working out. He was working out. It looks like he was in a dead sweat when I got here. And he's still going. And it's not like his moves are nonchalant or lazy. He's doing like game moves, I sit there and I unlace my shoes. I'm like, I want to see how long this goes. So I sit out there and watch. 25 minutes. And he got done. I said, okay, I think I've seen enough. Go play, come back, get in the sauna, get ready for the game. That game, he drops 40 on us, okay? And after the game is over, I'm like, I have to ask this guy. Like, I have to understand, like, why he works like that. So after the games, I'm like, hey, Kobe, like, why were you in the gym for so long? He's like, because I saw you come in. And I wanted you to know that it doesn't matter how hard you work, that I'm willing to work harder than you.
You know, basketball for me was the most important thing.
Good.
So everything I saw, whether it was TV shows, whether it was books I read, people I talked to, everything was done to try to learn how to become a better basketball player. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
You have to do the hard stuff and watch that game and study that game to not make those mistakes over and over again just because you were brave enough to face it. You gotta deal with it. Gotta deal with it. Face it, learn from it. And all those little things, and it sucks. But you don't want to have that feeling again, do you? Right? So you gotta really study it, face it. And not to say you'll win the next time you face, but at least you'll give yourself a better chance.
Yeah. So when you think about the greatest players of all time, 90-80% of them have God gift of natural talent, ability, body, right? So Jordan, 48-inch vertical, right? You got the big hands, right? You got LeBron, right? You have Shaquille O'Neal, right? Then Magic, 6'9" point guard with vision. Kobe, standard. If I give you 6'6" and then took every 6'6" guard in the NBA and NBA history, you would never find him, right? You would never find Kobe because he didn't have big hands, right? He wasn't quick, he wasn't fast. 38-inch vertical, that's standard. Like if you don't have a 30-inch vertical, you're not even a shooting guard in today's game, right? And what he did with that body, it's like you took a S500 and he was pushing it like a Bugatti.
Good.
That's what we look at. We look at the normal person fighting guys.
Yes. There's a quote from one of my English teachers I learned there named Mr. Fisk.
3.
He had a great quote that said, rest at the
Starting
end,
back
not
and over
in the
again. Come on.
And that's something I always look
4, squat.
I'm not going to rest. I'm going to keep on pushing now. There are a lot of answers
6.
that I don't have.
Squat
Even
every
questions
time, not every other
that I
time.
don't.
Come on.
But I'm just going to keep going. And I'll figure these things out as we go. Right? And you just continue to build that way.
Get your hands
So
on
I
the
try to
tight.
live by
Put
that
it
all
back
the time.
out. No,
You're playing
squat. No,
against
squat.
the
Get your
Golden
hands
State
underneath the tight.
Warriors.
Squat. There you
Score
go.
is 107, 109. You guys are close to getting into the playoffs. You're about to take your shot, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Falls down.
Good.
Again, he's struggling.
Both
He's
feet.
at the line to shoot free throws, so he can't be taken out of the game right now.
Right after you were injured, you went on Facebook
Good.
and you posted a lengthy blog. This is such BS. All the training and sacrifice just flew out the window with one step that I've done millions of times. The frustration is unbearable. The anger is rage. Why the hell did this happen? Makes no damn sense. Now I'm supposed to come back from this and be the same player or better at 35? How in the world am I supposed to do that? I have no clue. Maybe I should break out the rocking chair and reminisce on the career that was. Maybe this is how my book ends. Maybe Father Time has defeated me. Then again, maybe not. There are far greater issues and challenges in the world than a torn Achilles. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Find the silver lining and get to work with the same belief, same drive, and same conviction as ever. One day, the beginning of a new career journey will commence. Today is not that day. If you see me in a fight with a bear, pray for the bear.
I wanted to be one of the best basketball players to ever play. And anything else that was outside of that lane, I didn't have time for.
At what age did that goal become crystal clear?
I made that deal with myself at 13 years old.
At 13 years old,
13 years old. That's the
you were
deal I
crystal
made.
clear about it.
Crystal clear.
And where did inspiration come from?
The love of the game.
Gotta keep moving forward.
The love of the game, the challenge. Like I would watch Magic play, I'd watch Michael play, and I would see them do these unbelievable things, and I'd say, you know, can I get to that level?
Yeah.
I don't know, but let's find out.
Let's go.
Let's find out. And so that curiosity to see where I could push this thing led me down that path I see.
We were in Vegas for the start of training camp, and we're getting ready for the Olympics in Beijing. We're going to head to Beijing. And I wanted to establish myself as a young leader on the team by waking up bright and early. Day one. So the goal was to be the first one at breakfast. So I set my alarm. I make sure I'm up by sunrise. I get out of bed. I put on my gear and I head downstairs.
It's time for the right hand.
But when I get there, Kobe's already there
Sit. Go.
with ice packs on his knees, drenched in sweat. Now, it took me a minute to figure it out, but this guy wasn't only awake before me. He had already worked out. He had just played in the finals days earlier. Meanwhile, I'd been off for months and I was still exhausted. What he had done that morning was incomprehensible to me.
Sit. Go.
That dedication he had only days after falling short of an NBA championship. That taught me something I've never forgotten.
Left hand.
Legends aren't defined by their successes.
Sit.
They're defined by how they bounce back from their failures.
Doubt is such a strange thing.
Sit. Go.
You know, there'll be times where you succeed and times that you fail.
Keep the ball close to you.
So wasting your time doubting whether you're going to be successful or not is pointless. It is. I mean, you just put one foot in front of the other. You control what you can't control. And then you see what the outcome is. Right? If you win, it's great. You're going to have to wake up the next day and do the journey over again. If you lose, it sucks. You're going to have to wake up the next day and do the journey all over again anyway.
Those times when you get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream. That's the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey. If you guys can understand that, then what you'll see happen is that you won't accomplish your dreams. Your dreams won't come true. Something greater will.
I think the greatest fear that we face is ourselves. Actually, you know, I think it's not anything that's external or anything that's superficial. I think the greatest fear you face is yourself, because you know, we all have dreams, and it's very scary sometimes to accept the dream that you have. And it's scarier still to say, okay, I want that. It's scary because you're afraid that if you put your heart and soul into it,
Still got to get everything through the
then
cone.
how are you
Not
going to
just the
feel
ball,
about yourself?
you, everything.
Right? So being fearless
Don't be
means
okay
putting
touching
yourself
the cone.
out
Sit.
there and going for it.
One dribble.
No matter
bang.
what, go
Dribble.
for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself. If your job is to try to be the best basketball player you can be, right? To do that, you have to practice, you have to train. Right? You want to train as much as you can, as often as you can. So if you get up at 10 in the morning, train at 11, 12, say 12, train at 12, train for 2 hours, 12 to 2. You have to let your body recover. So you eat, recover, whatever. You get back out, you train, start training again at 6. Train from 6 to 8.
You got to be able to operate when
And
you're
now
fatigued.
you go home, you shower, you eat dinner, you
operate
go to
under
bed,
fatigue.
you wake up, you do it again, right? Those are 2 sessions. Right now, imagine you wake up at 3,
What
you
you
train
gonna do
at
if
4,
you fatigue,
4
you
to
going
6,
to the free throw line,
go
you
home,
need 2 shots to
breakfast,
win it.
relax,
Gotta
blah, blah, blah.
operate under
Now you're back
fatigue.
at it again,
Let's
9
go.
to 11, right? Relax, and now all of a sudden you're
That's
back at it again,
Go.
2 to 4, and now you're back
Too
at it
high.
again, 7 to 9. Look how much more training I have done by simply starting at 4. Right? And so now you do that, and as the years go on, the separation that you have with your competitors and your
Stay
peers
focused.
just grows larger and
Just
larger
did
and
it, so I
larger
know
and
you can
larger
do it.
and
Stay
larger.
focused.
And by year 5 or 6,
Sit.
doesn't matter what kind of work they do in the summer, they're never going to catch up because they're 5 years behind. Right? So it makes sense to get up and start your day early because you can get more work in.
Sit.
If I start earlier,
Go.
I can train more hours. And I know the other guys aren't doing it because I know what their training schedule is. Right? So I know if I do this consistently over time,
Get out of there and go.
the
Sit.
gap's just going to widen and widen and widen and widen and widen, and they won't be able to get that back. So to me, it was just common sense. I'm like thinking, how can I get an advantage?
breathe.
Oh, start earlier.
And this was right after that
Stretch your
playoff
legs
game.
out.
We flew back to LA that night, and I got home.
15.
It's probably like
Doing good.
3 in the morning,
Breathe. Stop holding your breath.
and I went down to the
Go,
high
stretch them
school,
legs out.
which is down the street from our house. And the janitor let me in the
Knees
gym,
up. Pick them up.
and I shot all day.
Good.
All day.
Doing good.
I mean, all day.
20.
And I didn't leave the
Stretch
gym.
out. Stretch out. You got
I
to
just kept
breathe
shooting
while
and
you
shooting
run.
and shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting and
Stretch
practice
your
and
legs out.
practice. And
Taking short
I got a
steps.
chance to
Stretch.
let out
Speed
the
up,
steam of disappointing my teammates and millions of fans. I got a chance to let all that out instead of bottling it up.
go.
and envision that moment over and over and over and over and over. That was a huge something for me because I felt like everybody had written me off after those air balls.
You got a lot of people playing their hard-earned money to come watch you.
Stretch them legs out.
It's your job to be in shape.
More you
It's your
stretch
job
them
to
out,
be
the
strong
faster you'll
enough to
get
perform
finished.
at that level
Let's go.
every single night.
Gotta pick them
As a
feet up.
competitor, I'm not ducking.
Keep going.
Like, it's not, oh my God, my back hurts, I'm sore. We got to play Vince Carter and Toronto Raptors tonight. We actually had this happen. We had a game against Toronto in 2000, and Vince was tearing the league up.
Finish strong.
My back was
Got 5 seconds. Close it. Close it. 3.
like the perception of that. Like, what?
1.
Kobe's missing the game against Toronto, Vince Carter, because my back was really spasming. But people will be like, what? Oh, he's ducking Vince. Excuse me? No, I don't think so. So I would be in the layup line.